Hello and welcome to episode 106 of the Talking Wednesday podcast. The hipster and the punk joining you this week. Great work last week, boys. Always enjoy having you two on. I'm going to stop mentioning Jack on every podcast now. He's getting his feet under the table, isn't he? But no,
he's already said he got a big head.
He has said that. Me and him shared that, though, because we both struggle to fit hats. Got rather large craniums. Because we were having this discussion, weren't we, about hats? Yes. And you seem to always wear hats. But
yep.
I remember for a while, here we go, so you can tell we're back. I was doing... I was gigging, and I had I don't even really want to admit this. I had a phase of gigging when I was about 19.
Right.
20. Potentially 21.
Is this the year with the quiff?
No, that wasn't a year with the quiff, man. I had the quiff for 4 years. But, like, my bandmate, my drummer was really into rugby and American football.
Right.
So he, like, used to have all the caps.
Right.
From all the like, rugby teams and American football teams. And he basically got me wearing snapbacks because he always did. But then I realised that they didn't suit my face forwards, so on stage I'd get sweaty and put them backwards.
You were that guitarist, weren't you?
I was the singer, mate.
Were you the singer?
Mm.
Oh, even worse look.
It's just, it wasn't a look. Nobody stopped me at the time. None of the bandmates, the partner of the time, none of them went, are you sure that's... I think it's because I was already like wearing lots of leather and stuff. They were like, what's the addition of a snapback going to harm anything? But yeah. I was skinny as anything back then, so I could probably get away with anything. You don't have to have fashion sense if you're skinny. I've noticed this.
You don't.
You can basically get
away with
anything off. Right. I've noticed that after you put a few pounds on,
there's certain things that don't look
about it. You got to think about it a little bit more, just a little bit more. I still wear ridiculously coloured outfits. It's like I've got this awards evening at work soon, and I'm like, should I go in a bright orange blazer?
The obvious answer, yes.
Crushed velvet, because I was looking and I was like, should I get like a crushed velvet blazer, bright orange?
Yes.
And just turn up in that. I might. It's either that or I'm going in absolute casuals.
If that does happen, I want photographic proof in the Discord.
Well, that's the thing, mate. I've got a lot of baroques and I've got a lot of floral stuff anyway, but it's like I've just realised I've not actually dressed up in anything recently, and they're like, "Oh, smart casual's the minimum." So I'm like, do I just do my standard, just wear a button up and just do that, or do I actually like buy a blazer?
Bomb it.
Yeah. I don't really like spending money anymore, really, unless it's on collectible plastic, as we've spoken about before. But like, it is tempting to buy like a full baroque suit.
That would be funny. That would be hilarious.
We'll see. But how's your week been, mate?
It's been good. I'm on new medication for migraines now because my body hates me and it's collapsing, and the warranty for it went a long time ago. And I've just been... We were talking about this before we went live. I'm in that position where I can upgrade stuff in my setup, and the one thing I'm going to upgrade is the mic. And luckily, this man here has a production background, so I'm like saying, what that? And so far, he's gone, go with this. It's like, damn, that's the one that's really expensive.
Well, it's just because you are an idiot. So there's the side of it where it's like,
you're just going, let's get you something idiot proof.
Yeah, basically. And I've turned you towards the idiot proof podcast mic that every idiot gets.
Yes. Yeah.
Because it is idiot proof. It's bulletproof.
Why do you think Joe Rogan uses it?
Well, let's not start anything, shall we?
No. Probably doesn't even know who we are.
No.
But yeah, it's been good. It's been one of those ones where the child went back to school and lasted all of 3 days and then had to have 2 days off because she was ill. Her immune system is just broken. But then again, she's my child, so that makes sense. How's your week been?
What week is it? We're nearly in March, aren't we?
We are.
That's where we are.
The second to last day before the end of the month.
It's been weird because I was like partially working and then some of my work got cancelled. So I was kind of like up and down. Like I'd finished. I was like, oh, I'm not working tomorrow. I might as well go and me and Soph can do something after work or something.
Yeah.
And then I'd drive all the way back and then come back and be like, oh God, I'm driving. So I drove so much. I basically did about 1,500 miles last week. There was a lot of driving. But other than that, it was nice. The weekend before, the weekend, I don't think I've seen you since like I had friends around and I socialised. I can't remember saying that. No, I don't do that often. So it would be.
Was it good?
It was, it's nice to eventually socialise. I realised how small my circle is and I'm not too, because I'm trying to plan something for my birthday at the minute. Because I don't get any time. So I was like, I'm going to try and take a couple of days around there. And I'm trying to like plan like a trip or something where I can get a few friends there. I would obviously invite yourself, but you are currently in a situation with a child as well and a medical risk. So you are invited, by the way, Jake.
But
it's also going to cost money and you've got children.
I've got a child that costs money. Yeah,
exactly. But so I wasn't going to say, hey, do you want to come and do this thing for my birthday? And then you'd feel obliged and then you'd be like, well, how much? But I'm also not like one of them. I'm in that awkward situation where like I don't want to. I know like when my friends will go out and you'd think about how much you'd spend drinking or getting a meal or something like that. I would rather buy like somewhere, like hire somewhere in the middle of somewhere really pretty.
Yeah.
With like hot tub, like outside seating area. That sort of like anything sort of like picturesque.
Yeah.
And just have a few friends go there and chill.
Yeah.
Right. So, but it's just trying to get that to line up. Originally, there was a plan, and then the plan changed, and now I'm like, I don't actually know what to do, so I might just end up going on a night out again. But I don't. I don't know, man.
It gets harder to plan things like that the older you get. I'm trying to plan something for mine and the missus' 10-year wedding anniversary, and so far. As a joking thing, all she wants to do is go to Wendy's in town because their burgers are fantastic. If you get a chance to go to Wendy's in Sheffield next to McDonald's, their burgers are outstanding.
I love how you just said Wendy's in Sheffield, like next to McDonald's. Like there isn't multiple McDonald's in Sheffield.
Well, there's only one Wendy's up this way in South.
I've not seen it. Where is it?
You know where the McDonald's is bang slap in town on the tram stop? You near HMV?
Yes.
You remember the old bank that was next door?
Yes.
It's in there.
When did they build it?
It's only recently just opened.
I was going to say, I've not been in the city centre for a few months, and I've not seen a Wendy's.
It's about 5 weeks old, but they have a burger called the Baconator, and it's burger, bacon, burger, cheese, and you can get something like bacon cheese fries. It's lovely.
That's going to be great for your cholesterol, but yeah.
In that sense, don't you don't go.
Yeah. The cholesterol's not the problem, mate. It's just I do have to eat a little bit better in general. Like that wasn't even the tip of the iceberg, unfortunately, at the minute. But I will be probably going there when I've saved up like a treat day.
Yes,
I'll probably have to check that out.
It is worth it.
Exactly. But no. Did I have asked you about your week?
Yes,
and you've asked me about mine.
I have.
I'm feeling good though, man. Like I've been up since 5:30 today and I'm not tired.
You don't look tired. Like normally when we start this, you look shattered.
Do you know why?
Go on.
Because I've not been working as much this past couple of weeks, and I've actually been sleeping and resting and not burning the candle at both ends, and I've realised that this is what I need to do with my life now, because I was becoming miserable, unhealthy, and just generally quite not... Even on this podcast, I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
Sort it out, mate. You're always saying you're busy and you're tired. And don't get me wrong, I've got a busy month coming up, but I'm in more of my jovial spirits.
You look more chilled out. You look like you've had some time off, kind of thing, to just relax.
Yeah.
There's a very hard balance between work-life balance, and I think you're at that point where you're going to hit that road and you're going to be hitting it at the right point in the right age to go, this is where I need to be.
Yeah.
Because the problem is a lot of people hit that sadly when they're in the 40s or 50s. Like, I think one of Sarah's cousins has just bought a Porsche midlife crisis.
Well, I've just decided to pull the trigger sort of like now, because there's mitigating circumstances that have kind of like forced me into it in a weird way as well. But I was just having one of those things of like, I know it's really cliche, but you are only young once.
Yeah.
And I'd rather like start different things now with certain things than have to try again.
You'd rather not just be tired all the time.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? Just like giving, because there's still stuff I want to do, but there's still stuff I want to do career-wise that's like a different aspect of my career.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But yes, that's a philosophical start to the start of the Talking Wednesday podcast. It's like we've all just got in a room. I'm sorry, I'm rattling something. I've got this like custom-made plectrum in a tin. It's like I'm drunk.
I'm gonna say that.
I don't know if it's like this. I've been on this like new diet and stuff, like trying to eat the right things and be healthier and keep certain levels up and stuff like that. And I'm just like, I'm due some food soon, but like I'm in that
the really classic ADHD thing. I need in my hand to play with.
Yeah, no, I am quite like that actually. Which would explain the collectible plastic, wouldn't it?
I can't say anything because I keep squeezing this.
Yeah, well, as we've said, you've got children and you've just only managed to just get that one back into school. Like, leave now, please.
Oh, yeah. It's so nice to have her back in school. But great to have her back in school, but it's World Book Day on March 2nd. So, outfit beginning got to be something, a word, and I think she picked magical, which is easy. She can go as a fairy unicorn. She got all that stuff. And they're currently making a book in a box. And I was like, yeah, I'm out. I ain't doing that. See ya.
That's not very kind.
Hey, my wife likes arts and crafts, and my wife likes arts and crafts, and I'm not allowed to be near the PVA glue after last time.
Oh, right, okay. You're a glue sniffer.
No, I accidentally mistaked it for the glue for my hair.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it wasn't
You put glue in your hair?
Yeah, there's a brand called Glue, and it's really great for doing the mohawk. But I picked it up thinking it was that, because it was near there. I went, all right, it's same kind of form. I went like that. I went, like, it doesn't smell like the usual stuff. Looked, I went, oh, no.
This smells like paper mache. Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Here's what I made earlier.
Yeah. Anyway, we should probably get into the Sheffield Wednesday part.
Yeah,
I say this. I enjoy this part a lot as well.
Yeah, so
I enjoy shooting the breeze. Oh, by the way, the random topics are coming back, so feel free to shoot us your wacky topics at the start.
Yes.
And I will, when they do return, I will put timestamps in because you don't have to listen to those, you grumpy old people. I'm saying old spirit. You don't actually. I'm not being ageist.
I just want you to talk about Wednesday, and that's it.
Yeah, just talk about the football. That's all I come here for. You. Who are you? Who are these people on my screen anyway? I don't know. You clicked on the video.
Yeah. Yeah. I always find it funny when you get those comments where you go, "This is rubbish. Why are you doing it?" Like, you clicked on the video, not me.
Some people, man. Some people.
Yeah.
Everyone's always got a problem with something.
Oh, yeah. I realised something the other day as well. You don't look like Jesus. I figured out who you look like. Jared Leto.
I'll kind of take that. Because he'd like... he's been relatively successful, hasn't he?
Yes.
I'll take that.
Yep. I'll put a picture.
Do I have to cover? Do I have to cover like? Oh, that's. I need to stop picking things up. Do I have to cover the kill or something now?
Yes. Should be a podcast special.
Interesting.
Put it by the members.
Let's talk. Oh, speaking of members, yeah. Memberships are available to the channel. They get access to the Discord, not like emailing us, like Jake said last week. You can't email us anymore.
Oh, yeah, I did say that. So, yeah.
There's memberships are available to get access to the Discord. We are using it a little bit more in there, and that to any tier, so it can be from the entry tier all the way up. You get access to the Discord.
I can say good because I'm a member.
Yes, but we are going to use it even the more members. There is a members only chat in there as well, and I encourage you, if you are a member, to use that members only chat because it's a very exclusive chat. But the probably the most value tier would be the middle tier, our $4.99 tier on the channel, which gets you access to Talking Wednesday Extra. And as this podcast goes out, there should be the February episode as recorded by PunkChef41. So the second episode of Talking Wednesday Extra should be available for you there. So go and check that out if you haven't already. Leave us nice reviews on podcast services such as Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Spotify you can only 5-star, I think. I don't know if you can leave actual full reviews yet. But anyway, you can, like Podchaser, those sort of things. Those reviews really help us on the audio feeds. And yeah, it's been nice to see a few more audio listeners trickling in weeks in the week. So if you are an audio listener and you're listening to me in your car currently, hello. Eyes back on the road.
Left.
Go on.
Don't turn left. We're not your
Don't turn left. Right. Sheffield Wednesday. You know what's really nice? I'm back on this podcast and we're still top of the league.
Yep.
Because we weren't last time when I had to...
So it wasn't a jinxing you.
No, it wasn't. It was because I was annoyed because last week it was sort of a case of I had something come up at the last minute and we were obviously we were all talking, you, me and Jack, and I said, you two just do, the doc's already done pretty much. We already have a pod, just do it. Do what we were going to do anyway. So you did, and it was good. But
not bad to say one half of us were massively hungover.
No, not too bad at all. It was nice to actually come back and still be at the top of the league and actually get to talk about Sheffield Wednesday recording another win, and that win was against Charlton Athletic, and this was historic. We'll talk about the historic nature of that in a little while, but Jake, talk us through the match itself, please.
So this match was interesting. We lost the appeal on Marvin Johnson, and if you've seen it on Twitter, he does elbow in, but there was stuff beforehand that was a mounting factor which didn't get shown, but we lost him for 3 games. We lost him for this game. Ironically, Jaden Brown played, and Jaden Brown was a source of topic last week with me and Jack, talking about, is he going to be back into the squad?
Yeah! Andy, can I just cut in for a second?
Yep.
Andy in the comments was like, I think you've been really harsh on Jaden Brown here. He called you, because I was watching it going, I think you're really going in for him here, aren't you?
The thing is, with a Darren Moore system, you either play really well and you get in, or you keep people in, and you've got to be really good to uproot them. We've seen that. Now, Jaden Brown's had this period where he's had to come in, and my God, did he make an impact. He was amazing. He was the best version of Jaden Brown I think we've seen in a long time. And he sets up the first goal. Liam Palmer now has got 4 goals for the season, I think. I think that's his best tally ever. And it was very much like a striker goal.
Yeah,
really good ball in.
Stop it.
And took it. He should have had another one. And he should have 2. The first half, the one thing that we were lacking was clinicalness. If we were more clinical in that first half, we could have come away at half-time 3-4-0 up because they were struggling. They were on the back foot. Second half, they did what most teams do. They get a rocket from the manager and they come out playing. They play some good football. Dawson made some very good saves, and the confidence that keeper's now got is incredible. You know, he's played 11 games and he's got like a 72.9 clean sheet record or something daft like that.
Yeah.
Out of 11 games.
Percentage-wise, he's got the best in the league, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's just insane. They had some really good chances, and we can we keep going here? Can we try and get this? We were all keeping an eye on the Plymouth goal, which I'm going to mention in a minute. But the nice thing about this, we're making chances, having a go. I still think we are missing like Callum Patterson, because as much of Patterson's got the ability to go forward, he does make chances. I think when his chances hit, there's always someone ready on the rebound to get it, like a Windass or someone. But the best thing about this, Plymouth got smashed 5-2 by Peterborough. And we were like, is this going to be the game where we actually get things aligned? And it was. It was just a really good professional game of football.
What would you think to the second half?
We hung on. We hung on a little bit. But
is that where you say maybe that Patterson could have potentially came on, running them a bit more ragged, that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Is that sort of thing you're referring to?
Yeah, because we don't really have someone who can do that off the bench. Gregory's not that kind of player. He'll do it, but he I don't want to say he's not built for it, but he's not his game style. He's not the kind of one to like get in people's faces. And the one thing that was interesting about this game was the second half, I've noticed away from home, we're very good at soaking up pressure and just letting 1-0 be the thing. But you know that's not what they're playing for, if you know what I mean. They're wanting to get as many goals as possible. Look at the shots, 17-4 on target. If we're more clinical, this game should have been dead and buried. Yeah. The thing is, I think when they hit a certain knack this season, and I don't know if it's a change in mentality, a change of players, but there's certain knack about these players that say, no, we're not going to do this. We're going to hold on and keep going. Like, Iorfa has been superb since he's come back. I forgot recently that Iorfa's out of contract in the summer.
That's the thing. Because I remember doing that Instagram tweet now. Instagram post of like 2023 when he signed. So yeah. when he re-signed a deal. So that's so typical Wednesday, isn't it? We've got to be careful though with him, because we can't like give him loads.
No,
it's going to be an interesting one.
The thing is, there's some very good free agent coming out next season from the Championship in defence, and some that we could go for. Which will be interesting to see how we do. But the thing is, Iorfa and Flint at the back, it's just ideal. I still believe Iorfa still needs someone with him, like a Flint, who can complement him. I think when Iorfa's meant to be the main defender, he doesn't look confident, if that makes sense.
Flint was such a clever signing for that situation.
Yeah.
You know, like, let me just have a look, because we're talking about...
He's only 33. And he's a free agent in the summer.
I was just about to say, he only signed a 1-year deal with Stoke, so he's a free agent. So if he does well for us...
Well, he's doing well for us now. Technically, we could approach him now if we wanted.
We can't.
Pre-contract.
You can't do that. With English clubs.
No, it's not. It's not. It's foreign clubs, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't do that with English clubs. You can't do that with English clubs.
Yeah,
right?
I wish you could.
No, you cannot. Officially.
Yes.
But you can kind of know where he wants to go and start talking about, hey, what car do you want?
Yeah. What
that
parking
sort of
spot do you want?
Yeah.
Who do you want to sit next to?
But yeah, let's just quickly go over the stats of Charlton. 52% possession for Charlton, 48, so close. 7 shots to our 17. That's quite considerable. But they had 3 on target and 4 of ours, so it's all about that clinical nature, as you were discussing. They had 1 corner to our 8 and 12 fouls to our 14. So
the referee was very card happy. He was stop-start card happy. He let things go, and then Wednesday players kind of lost their head a little bit. And it's the first time I think we've seen it this season where they've lost their heads. And it wasn't bad, but Darren did make a point saying they need to calm down. And there were bits on the sideline where he's going, calm down, no need. But it's very hard to have that when you've got someone like a Barry Bannon who will fight for everything for Wednesday, kind of thing. And it's one of those ones where sometimes maybe a Palmer's a better person to calm the players down, being vice captain and stuff. I've got a controversial one for you though.
Go on.
If we go up top and we are champions, do we do a mini Manchester United and let Palmer and Barry Bannon lift the title?
No, because Bannon's the captain.
But
And the only reason that happened,
the vice captain.
The only reason that happened is because Harry Maguire was the captain of Man United before.
No, he's still technically registered.
No, he was. No, he is. But he got 2 minutes in the final. If he hadn't played, Bruno would have lifted it on his own.
Yeah.
I think.
It's an interesting one, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I don't think... Because Bannon and Palmer are in the same side. Bannon's the captain. Yeah. I think they should be next to each other.
Yeah.
And I think it should be a case of Bannon lifts it and then Palmer lifts it.
Yeah.
You know, or maybe they do want to lift it together and that's something they want to do. We've got to get there first.
Yeah.
But
I said if.
Yes. Too many people are jumping the gun a little bit. I was like, have you been a Sheffield Wednesday fan before? Even though this is fantastic, it doesn't feel right.
I had someone turn around and go, "Oh, you got this." And I said, "We're taking it one game at a time." I'm not there. Not at all. Because it's great, don't get me wrong.
I trust Darren Moore. I think if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be this team and Darren Moore. But I'm still a Sheffield Wednesday fan, Jake.
Yeah.
We know what it's like, right?
Yep.
We don't do things easily, usually.
One game at a time.
And there's still quite a few games.
I think it's something stupid. We need 8 wins out of the last 15.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing about League One. There's 15 or so games. There's so many fixtures.
Yep.
Let's talk about some of those fixtures. So there was 2 midweek games this week in the League One review. Fleetwood played Cambridge and Fleetwood won 1-0. Morecambe won Port Vale 0. So Fleetwood and Morecambe wins midweek. There wasn't too much going off midweek. The weekend scores were as follows. Oxford United 0, Bristol Rovers 3, which meant that the Oxford United manager...
Carl Robinson got sacked.
Indeed, he did get sacked. He's always had nice things to say about Wednesday as well, hasn't he? So
he has, but I've never been a biggest fan. You've got family of Wednesday fans. And I think he was very lucky to stay in the job as long as he did, but I think that Ipswich result was he was running on that. And
why aren't you being his biggest fan? He defecated in your cornflakes? What's going on?
I've heard interviews of him, and he's always been nice about Wednesday, but there's also interviews...
That's all it takes. I'm fickle.
Yeah, I know, but I've seen him have interviews and takes and stuff, and I've never liked it, but things can change.
Fair enough. That's because you've got integrity. Shrewsbury 2, Wickham 0, Portsmouth
also,
4.
Manager change at Wickham.
Yes, that's worth mentioning as well. Yes, so
poor QPR. Gotta watch that style of football.
Ainsworth's a good manager, though. In fairness,
he is, though. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, it's a good move for them. And Wickham have brought in a sort of the guy who lifted the playoffs. Yeah. He got promoted. I can't remember his name. Let me double check.
Colchester manager, isn't
it? Because obviously Wickham got promoted a couple of seasons ago, and Matt Bloomfield was one of the players there that lifted the playoff final trophy.
Kind of know what Wickham's about, so it's probably a smart move.
There didn't seem to be too much drama about this. I think it's a case of love.
He'd been there 11
He's been
years.
there for so long, and I think everybody sort of respected him as he went, yeah.
Yeah.
But they lost.
Yeah.
2-0. Portsmouth 4, Cheltenham 0. All right, calm down.
Yep.
Peterborough 5, Plymouth 2. Keep it coming, Plymouth. You can have the Papa John's trophy, but we need a cushion.
Yep. I was speaking to some Plymouth fans and they were not happy at all.
No.
Yeah, they kind of feel like they've probably blown it in its hours now. And the only saving grace they got, in one sense, they're very good at home and they've got more home games than away fixtures. But you've got Bolton and Plymouth play that final, and Plymouth will be up for that. The only way Bolton can lose that is if their manager opens his mouth, because he says things and it doesn't end well for them. He did it last season by saying, "We're the best team in League One." All managers needed to do was put that on a whiteboard and go, "He said that about you, go out and play."
Yeah, however, seems to be working at late with Bolton because Bolton beat Port Vale 2-1. They're doing. We've got to watch that. Well. Everybody's talking about like Ipswich creeping back up and things like that, but Bolton. Pretty decent. Their form's better than Ipswich's.
Their new stadium's a bit unfortunate naming, though.
Yeah, can we talk about this?
Yes, we can.
And I'm going to have to be very careful. You're not going to say this because your pronunciation will get me demonetized.
This
right.
is all you. Go for it.
So, everybody says when you go to Bolton, oh, we're going to go to the Macron, right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, right. That's what you think. Because for a long time there was that.
Or University of Bolton, or if you really old it with the Reebok.
Yeah, like, that's it. Yeah, sorry. I was like, have I just completely messed that up? Because I was like, everybody used to say the Macron. I was correct there, wasn't I? Macron. I'm
pretty sure you were.
Bolton Stadium. I'm doing it to my brain now. Jake, yeah, a lot of people used to call it the Reebok. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
But thank you, yeah. So, the Macron was their naming rights, which is why I've always called it the Macron. The reason I'm slowly talking about the naming rights here, and obviously I'm going to go back to the fact you called it the Reebok to further build this up for people who don't know, is I reckon they should just call it the University of Bolton Stadium right now.
Yes.
They really should. Because the name, I'm trying to find it. Are they so a building products company has decided to sponsor them. And they are called Tough Sheet, as in sheet, right? Building products.
Yeah.
So now their stadium is called the Tough Sheet Stadium. All right, lads, I love an away day to Tough Sheet.
How do you get on down there? Well,
this is just, it feels like it's a sketch.
It feels like satire, doesn't it?
Soph messaged me, my partner, for if you just randomly listen to this. She went, are you sure this is not a Peter Kay wind-up thing?
She was like, what?
She was like, are you sure there's not going to be like a TV show where this is a thing? And I'm not 100% sure it's not. But that's unfortunate. Anyway, Forest Green 1, Lincoln City 1, Charlton 0, Wednesday 1, Exeter 2, Cambridge United 0, Barnsley 4, Derby County 1.
Yeah.
So that takes Barnsley ahead of Derby there as well, with a game in hand. So Derby need to be careful because Wickham, they've obviously lost the manager, which means they're probably not going to be that hot on their heels. But if Wickham decide to go on a run, yeah, it's only, as you just said, I believe, underneath the muffled cut out of your microphone, it only takes a couple.
Yeah,
that is what you said. Wonderful fixtures. Burton 0, Accrington Stanley 0, Fleetwood 1, Morecambe 0, MK Dons 0. Yeah. MK Dons 0, Ipswich Town 1. That leaves Wednesday at the top of the league with 71 points. 32 played, 71 points. In second is Plymouth Argyle with 33 played and 68 points. That's a 3-point cushion. That's a 3-point cushion, Jake.
Yep, I know. I messed up.
3 points, not 4.
I'm not good at maths.
Ipswich Town, 33 played, 63 points. So,
have a look at
how many points?
Difference.
How many points is that in? Are we in the promotion places there, Jake?
You're asking me to do maths.
I am asking you to do maths. I'm being an arse. It's 8 points.
We're 8
points. We got an 8-point cushion for promotion at the minute.
Look at our goal difference at 37. Then
Yes.
look at Forest Green's at the very bottom.
Holy minus 38 for Forest Green. And they've got to play us again.
Yes.
Oh dear.
Yep.
Shall we get into the news?
Yes, we shall.
Let's start with, it should be top story, so I'm going to put it top story. Sheffield Wednesday have made history. A 20-match unbeaten run for the first time in Wednesday's history. I've got to say, like, I think on this podcast, people probably wouldn't credit for us, because why would they do that? But we've probably been ones that have never turned on more, ever, during this whole process. I will give one of our co-hosts, Jack, credit for, he said on his first appearance just with me, I believe, he said that he believes Darren Moore's the man that could be our long-term success, and that sort of manager could take us to the very top. And at the time I was like, oof, some words there, but 20-match unbeaten. I know it's League One, but we didn't do this last time we were down here.
No.
What have you got to say on this?
He changed the mentality at the club. He had changed how we do things. He changed how he responds to people. It's something, I think, when we first appointed him, everyone was like, right, we've appointed him to get us out of League One when we first saw it, because it felt like that kind of manager kind of buffer, if that makes sense. This is who we brought in. He already knows League One. I still believe if we hired him when we hired Tony Pulis, we don't go down. I 100% believe that, even with those players, because he was starting to get those players to play. Before he went and got ill, they were playing and they were picking up results. I think there's a situation here where Darren Moore come in, seen what's needed to do. Last season, he managed to get a squad together on frees. Probably not some of the players he wanted, because if you look at the ones he's let go, a lot were ones he have brought in, some of them, and gone, you know what, I need to change it up. Yes, we the thing is, what's annoying me, where everyone in League One gone, oh, you've spent all this money, you've got a bigger budget. We spent hardly anything in the transfer window. It was all frees again, pretty much, bar 3 players. And the thing is, if Darren Moore can do this with hardly any money, what can he do with a little bit of a championship wage? And what can he bring in from the Premier League loans?
Here's the thing, right? I might get some pelters for this, but I think he's genuinely one of them managers that you can't afford to lose now.
No.
And people will still probably say, if we start to have a little bit of a dip of, oh, well, he's not good enough for the championship, he won't be good enough. I bet there'll still be people who say that, right?
He was 4th in the championship last time he did it and he got sacked.
I believe he is the sort of manager that you need to talk about long term. And I believe probably he's had these conversations with Chansiri. He's the kind of manager you need to sit down and go, what do you have as the vision for this club moving forward? Can we achieve it together? That sort of thing. If you've got ambitions as a manager sort of thing, let's do them here. And Wednesday, you would think, are a big enough club to do that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Look at when we got him from Donny, though. He was like 9 or 10 unbeaten before they went on a little flip.
Mm.
And they said it's funny how everything changed when we lost Donny. When we lost Darren.
I think when we go up, you back him with money. You give him. You don't really worry too much about it in the first year. You go for as high finish as possible. While you sort of
top half, bottom half, top half, middle table kind of thing.
I'd say top 10, right?
Yeah.
Because I say with the momentum, you've got to at least be charging on for top 10.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Because that otherwise, I don't think you're capitalizing on the momentum. But you don't stress about it too much. You go in for the playoffs. If we finish 10th, I'm not going to whinge too much as long as I can see a squad strengthening. Because you do need to add the quality. You need to add something to push on there. But we've obviously got to get there first. But I do think he's one of those managers you've got to back there. But the unbeaten run is obviously not just down to him; it's the players. What do you think to this group of players? Because I can't really praise the togetherness, and that's partly because of the manager, but partly because of the players' attitudes towards each other in the club. I think
there's a mentality shift. I think you bring in someone like a Stockdale who's been there, done it. You see what he's done to Cam Dawson if it is behind the scenes. A lot of keepers wouldn't be able to come in halfway through the season and then still keep that clean sheet record going and stuff. It's like it was a big call and everyone questioned it. I think he brought in the right amount of players with enough experience to get out this league, but wouldn't upset the apple cart. He'd had it before where he's spoken in interviews and gone, I would have players walk in and say if they weren't wanting to come to the club there and then, when I sold them the idea, I wasn't going to go back for them. I don't want them. If you're going to be here, you want to be here. I think that's why you had the issue with like Luongo. And ahhing. I think because he didn't sign straight away, and it's like, oh, I'm not sure. He's like, all right, then you're gone. Sorry, bye. If you're not going to want to be part of this. And you look what he's actually done recently with bringing in some of the youth lot. Rio Shipton's now a first teamer. Adam Adatore is a first teamer, and he's 6 foot. I think he's taller than Iorfa, and he's strong. And then you look at Fuser. He's bringing in the youth. Like, I got really confused when people were having a go at Moore recently about bringing in like youth team players because he hadn't done much in the transfer window, but he didn't want to bring anyone in. How long have we said we need to use that academy? So what's he do? He promote 3 players from the academy, and it's like, well, you should have got players in January then. That's why you should have done it. If Darren Moore thinks they're ready, Darren Moore thinks they're ready.
And you know what? It's not backfiring at the minute because, believe it or not, the one signing he made was astute. And I was even a bit worried. I thought, I do still think, like, because we are playing a thin line with injuries, we should have brought in another centre-back, right? But at the minute, touch all the wood that I can find in this room, right? Aidan Flint is a great signing.
Yeah.
Because he fits the role of what we need to a gap left by Mark McGuinness. It's almost not... Do you know what's amazing? We've not questioned it. Mark McGuinness was solid for us, but since he's gone, we've not worried about it as much.
And I've watched some Cardiff games recently. Mark McGuinness has gone down.
I've heard different.
I've seen different games where, and from Cardiff
I've watched a couple
who has said that he's not where they thought he was with when we had him. I think there's a different thing going into dressing room though. There, I think you've got a team who's on the high going up, and they got a team who's trying to scrap.
I think I've watched one Cardiff game with him playing because I was intrigued because I'd heard mixed things, but what I'd mainly seen from their fan base is he's really coming. He's pretty much one of the only lights in their darkness at the minute.
They could be very close to going down, and if he does go down and we go up, I'd be turning around and say, cheeky bid, please, Chairman.
Yeah, might as well, because if we can get him, that'd be fantastic. But in terms of the players we've currently got, Darren Moore's done really, really well, as you said, finding the right balance with them. Yeah. Leaders because the thing is, the captain doesn't have to be the leader. We've got leaders like Stockdale, Palmer, vice-captain, obviously. Bannon is the captain, but you've got...
Windass has turned into a leader.
Yeah, yeah.
And
leaders all over the pitch.
And you've got to remember, back when Darren Moore came in, there was an issue with Josh. And I think it was a sit down, and he just turned and said, you don't need to be that player. Change what you're doing on the pitch, and you can still do it. Like, you look at Windass, he got 20...
Are you on about the stuff that came from, like, the Pelopessi thing? Yeah.
But you look at Windass's stats, I think it's 20 combined goals and assists. That's insane. For a player who was at one point this season, we were all like, maybe we cash in on him now. Let him go. Like, we did well to keep hold of some of the players we did during the period. And I think that caused Darren Moore.
That's one of the biggest business things, because I wasn't even worried we were going to lose the players, because the players are bought in, and they should be, right? It's the right... This team is probably one of the best to play for at the minute, if you think about it. Every match day, I think we're going to win. Even if it's not pretty. Right?
I think you're going to win, yeah.
And I also, now it's a team that doesn't really give up. If we go a goal down, which doesn't happen very often, like...
MK Dons game, classic example. We were 2-1 down. Second half, we changed it completely. They don't do that whole putting head down. They just go, right, if you're going to go first against us, we're going to go free past you. There's that mentality shift which we're not used to seeing. Because you've got to remember, we went from a period where Darren Moore last season beat the away record hoodoo, and then the home record hoodoo, which we weren't expecting.
Let's talk a little bit more about this unbeaten club record then, and what it actually means. So this is the first time, this is from the Wednesday website. Since the 1960-61 Wednesday season, Wednesday have extended an unbeaten run to a huge 19 games. Back in the 1960-61 campaign, when the Owls finished second in the Old First Division behind Tottenham, Harry Catterick's side remained undefeated from the 10th of December 1960 until the 17th of April 1961. So, and what ended our run there was a 2-1 defeat away at Spurs on the 17th of April. Fast forward all the way to the current season, and Darren Moore's side have now equalled that record, going 19 games without defeat in League One.
Yeah.
The fine stretch of form, comprising 13 wins and 6 draws, has catapulted the Owls to the top of League One. And it could keep going.
Yep. You don't see them stopping.
This was when we equaled it, by the way. We've passed it. We've gone to 20. Yeah. The thing when we were talking about it was when we equaled it. We've passed it. We've got 20 games.
Yeah.
It's just fantastic.
It's stupidly weird when you look at like when they've been mentioned in Europe as being one of the best teams in Europe at the minute with record-wise. You think, they're talking about the wrong club here. At times, you don't think it's real.
It's also, there is sort of the mild sort of, oh God, and then you see the League One thing.
Yeah.
But you know what? We can be proud of what we are now.
Oh,
and currently we're a club back on the up. And I love this team so much more than what we had the past few seasons.
How many points per game did you say we needed to get?
Excuse me?
How many points per game did you say we needed to get on average normally to get promoted?
2.
Right, we're currently on 2.6 per game over the last 5 games.
Yeah,
and our forecasted points at the rate of going is 104 points.
Don't mess it up. Don't mess it up now. But yeah, congratulations to everybody involved at Sheffield Wednesday. It's fantastic to break records, even though they probably wouldn't even think about it, to be honest, too much. We've mentioned it, but
I think even when it's been mentioned to Darren, he's like, we're not really thinking about that. We're just playing games. It's one game at a time.
Yeah, exactly. The old cliche, but it works.
Yep.
So, basically, Wednesday had to fend off Derby County for Jack Hunt. We thought it'd be a Lee Gregory thing, right? This is the headline from the Star reads as follows: Sheffield Wednesday shut down audacious transfer raid from promotion rivals Derby County amid the defenders' New Year's renaissance. Quote, on what was otherwise a quiet deadline day of the winter window for the Owls, fellow League One high flyers Derby County are understood to have launched a speculative last-minute effort to steal Jack Hunt away from Hillsborough. It's a deal that would have paired defender back up with his former Rotherham United manager Paul Warne, with the potential structured free transfer offer believed to have been mooted, albeit briefly. Wednesday? That's a cheese. Wednesday swiftly stamped out any notion of the deal, with Hunt having fought his way back into the first team reckoning in the new year. With the landscape of Wednesday's right-hand side having changed in recent weeks, and with Hunt having shown solid form in recent outings, it could well be that Yorkshire-born wingback proves to be an important figure as the Owls enter the business end of their title charge. We'll leave that one there. We won't read too much of the article, but what do you think to this one then? Would it be a case of, I think this is pretty cut and dry, personally. I'll give my opinion on this one first. We can't give away our wing backs.
No, we don't have enough.
Our full backs when we don't have them. Exactly. The one thing we were saying in the window is sign some bloody wing backs.
It would have been really stupid if we on that stream Jack Hunt gone. Transfer window's ended. You done what?
Yeah.
It's that stupid thing where as much of the thing is, Derby thing as well, he's still in contract. Yes, I think he's a free in the summer, but we will want money for him, and Derby can't offer anything at all because they're in a transfer embargo kind of thing. They can try and do what we did with Swansea for Joe Byers, but again, it's one of those ones where yes, Hunt doesn't, when he goes forward, he struggles sometimes to get back because his legs are going. Let's just say what it is. Sometimes you
Oh,
watch him,
poor
his legs.
bloke. I thought we were going to get through an episode without us saying that.
No, but he still puts in 110%, even though you know what I mean? It's like he can still keep going and still do wonders for us this season. But it's one of those things where you look at Jayden Brown, you look at Jack Hunt. They've not played many games, so when they turn around and say they've got a dead leg, or they've got like when Brown went off, he's not done much in that kind of running this season. And I still think that's why Patterson probably pulled up. He hasn't played that position in a while, so it was just being careful and like on his day, Jack Hunt can be unplayable and put crosses in. Last season when we played Morecambe, he had a fantastic shot that cannoned off the crossbar. And it nearly went in. It was like, that was so close. On each day, Jack Hunt can be unplayable. And defend well.
Look, there was no reason for it. Obviously, they'd have probably like enticed him and gave him the sort of thing. And then, we'll give you another year on top of it sort of thing.
Yeah.
But we'd probably keep him as a squad player next year anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd get too much game time. No offense to him, obviously. But if we'd be looking to try and bring in, you know,
again, another person like, say, a David Stockdale, who will be good to teach whoever comes in on how to do it, because you know what the stupid thing is? If we hadn't seen what he was like the first time we had him, you've like, that's a great time. But because we know what he did last time, a lot of people judge him on what he was like last time.
But also, it feels like he never left as well.
Yeah.
Now, do you know what I mean? There's that side of it.
I always forget he was born in Yorkshire as well. I think he's a Leeds lad.
Yeah. Well, he did play for Rotherham for a while, didn't he?
Yeah. Did he? Was he at Huddersfield as well at 4 points?
Yeah, he was at Huddersfield. Yeah. Who just got battered 4-0 by Burnley.
I wasn't going to mention anything, but how did that go down?
I have not seen that side of South Fam in a few weeks.
It's all right. They got
I spoke to one of them when they went, it's Neil Warnock's there, and I was like, that's going to be quite interesting. That is going to be quite interesting. But and then I saw the 4-0, and I just didn't say anything. I was like, you'd be
controversial
fine.
Take though. 10-week manager thing might be a new norm, where they just give them 10 weeks.
They didn't believe me when I said I'll be swapped, because they were like, "Oh, you got really." I was like, "We'll either be swapping." I said last season we'll be swapping places with you this season. Yeah. Obviously, I was wrong, but this season we're going to be swapping places with them.
Yeah.
Slightly unfortunate, and I'm not going to read the whole thing out here because I got demonetized for a short that I ended up deleting. But this is Sheffield Wednesday have had Marvin Johnson banned after a review for improper / something roughhousing conduct, I'll say, because for some reason that word didn't like the algorithm, by the FA. So he will miss. He's already missed Charlton, and he will miss Peterborough United and the Portsmouth matches because of an elbowing incident.
Yes.
That was filmed by a fan.
Yeah, this is the thing that I don't get. It wasn't caught on TV, so how had they managed to actually do it? And actually do it? Because they say when they get looked at, like, they get looked at like match footage and stuff.
Yeah, well, the only thing I saw was the thing that was on Twitter. You know, the footage of him, and it didn't look. I watched it, and I got some journos were saying like, oh yeah, well, you can't really disagree with the footage, and I thought, well, if there's because I said in the show, if there's footage, you can't disagree with it if you're looking at footage, sort of thing. And then I properly looked at it, and I was like,
the thing is, no one mentions about beforehand he got elbowed himself at the other end.
But I didn't see player. Like right. I might be not looking at the right video here, but it was sort of like oh, you're just sort of swinging your arm back, sort of thing. It's not like he was like, "ER, mate."
He got up fast enough afterwards.
But yeah.
Either
way, if he elbowed him, fine. Yeah, he's banned. We make do. We've got players coming. Reece James is obviously back. We're fine.
Yep. I did actually like Marvin Johnson's thing. Found out he was banned on Friday. Puts on Instagram. Anyone played the Call of Duty mode on his Instagram story? Like, all right, you're happy then.
Yeah, get yourself a ban before an holiday as well. Can you, like, if I was, I wouldn't, because I wouldn't. Hang on.
Condone
it, but like, I'd be doing it before Christmas. I'd be like,
Kevin Nolan used to always get a red card just before Christmas. Always.
Why not? I'd be going studs up. I'd be going career enders. I'd be like, I want a long Christmas and New Year. 2
Oh,
foot.
what? I'm banned for 3 matches. Oh dear, what a shame. Bye.
Oh, that's shit. Yeah. Can you imagine?
Can you book the Maldives for me, love?
I have thought about that because I do like. Obviously, football is in a very privileged position, but the amount of like training and the stuff around all of those experiences for a lot of your life, that must be quite rough, especially when you've got your children are young.
Yeah. I think that's why a lot of football struggle with then going to like a day-to-day where they haven't got that structure. It's interesting. You actually look at the Wednesday squad at the minute. Wednesday squad have got a lot of players who have got other businesses. I know Palmer got at least 5. Stockdale got a couple.
What is it with you and Palmer's businesses? You're always going on about his businesses.
The thing
it's a bit weird, Jake.
The thing is, I mention it because you don't expect players to be in that mindset.
Why?
No, because a lot of them don't. A lot of them don't get in that mindset.
I don't think that's true. I might be spitballing.
Back in the day,
back in your day, when you used to have to use coal to heat your house, right?
Oh, shut up.
Then maybe they weren't thinking of that. But now, like, there was a lot of you talk about like since sort of like 2000 onwards, people get into investments and all of that.
Invested money wise with Michael Owen.
Yeah. But he's
got to work for BT.
That's not a bad job though, is it?
Not bad actually, yeah. Just
he's doing what we're doing for a lot less money.
What, free?
Yeah, pretty much. The podcast fee came out this month and I was like, oh no, I forget.
I like that message. I'm like, in the back of my head, I'm expecting a message from him around January time when the podcast feed came out. I was like, all right, he's not had it. He must have done it already. And then I got the message going, it happened again.
I don't know, because I always forget. Because we started the podcast in January.
Yeah.
I forget it happens in February. And I'm like, ah! Oh, well. Speaking of coal, I was a child and my granddad did have a coal fire.
Yeah.
My granddad was a miner, so he had unlimited coal for life, pretty much
nice.
after that. I don't know if that was a common thing, but he
probably
did.
Was.
Yeah. Because I always remember the sound.
Yes.
You go out and you just hear the.
Yeah.
It's a very comforting sound, that actually, like the scrape of. I don't know. Just like the scrape of the thing into the coal, and there's a very distinctive sound I'm talking about. Like
I know. My mum, grandma and granddad had coal fires, and just the sound of it, and
Yeah. Anyway, this is from the Examiner. Quote: worst luck ever. Sheffield Wednesday star Josh Windass opens up on quest to land silverware. Josh Windass has had enough of being the nearly man and wants to finally get his hands on some silverware. So I'll talk a little bit later on. He's been speaking and he is quoted as saying this: everybody wants to win the league, he said. We tried last year and obviously we didn't do it. This year we're going to try our best and I think we're in a good position to do it. Hopefully we can just keep going. Touching on his semi-final record, he added, I think I've got the worst luck ever in semi-finals. I think I've played in 7 of them and I've lost them all. There was a playoff with Accrington, the playoff here last year, and the rest with Rangers. It's not a good thing to admit, end quote. I just wanted to talk about this, because is this the season we finally see some actual silverware?
Yes.
Is this the biggest victory, if we win the league in League One, that Sheffield Wednesday have had in the past? Because I would say it's possible, because you actually won something. It's bigger than the getting to the playoff final, isn't it, for the Premier League?
Yeah. I think when it comes to winning the league, if you win something, it's over a year of it.
This might make you feel a bit sick.
Go on.
Is this the biggest trophy we've had since we've won the League Cup?
Possibly, yeah.
Like, in terms of, like, because it's a championship trophy.
No, it will be. It will be. Because we'd only ever got playoff and second place trophies.
Remind me, because when it was
it
before my time. I know my Wednesday history, but the season we won the League Cup, we were in the second division, didn't we? But we got promoted, but we didn't win the league.
No. And if you look back, I think the last time we won the league is like it's a long time ago since we'd actually won a league.
Should we put like a little clip art star above the badge so it's not like a proper league, but like
No, because that sounds like something Spurs would do.
We'll have some proper, like the proper ones from when we've won like the first division and everything. But then we'll have like a little clip art one that doesn't really count.
I think the thing is, it's interesting hearing that from Josh Windass and being open and honest, and it's nice to see that kind of side of him come out. But I think, also you weren't here. Josh Windass did a celebration.
Yes,
against
he
MK.
did.
I don't know what it was, but he did a celebration.
He also it's against Charlton as well though when the Palmer's goal went in. He was like, and I think
up for it.
It was it's the Windass celebration. There was a bit interesting, wasn't it? But I like the fact he is celebrating. I think that whole thing got blown out of proportion. You can see now in the moment, those big goals like the Palmer goal and stuff, even when it's not his goal now, when the team needs it. I
love when
it was just
anyone goes and it's not him at the minute. He's immediately with Barry Bannon just going, come on to whatever side of it is. And 9 times 10, it's in front of the away fans if it's an away game. And he's just like, keep going. It's like Byers. He'll run to the opposite side to do the celebration.
Yeah.
There's just something about this team. It's weird. It's making me feel a bit uneasy.
It's been made on a shoestring.
Yeah,
and it's great. It's not probably a shoestring wages wise, but it's not. We're not paying players a lot. Do you know what I mean? In terms of the comparative level of the league, yeah. But if you think about the money that's been spent, the money that Ipswich have spent,
yeah. How's George her treating you?
They've got to be careful because the thing is, if they keep chucking this 1.5 million, 1 million in League One and it doesn't work, we've not done that.
No.
What's our biggest fee in League One? What?
Wilkes, probably.
Yeah, and that was reported no more than 700k. I think the actual reported fee was around 350.
Yeah. Like if you think about it, it was 700. It was like 700k, 53 or 54 for Femi Wow, and I think we paid for Backinson. That's all we spent.
And we were linked with Bostock.
We're gonna pay for him.
You did enjoy that, didn't you?
I did.
Should we move on to the community?
You will.
The community topic is back. The post goes up every Tuesday night now, so you've got a whole week to get all your community topics in. So these two we're going to take this week. This one is from Deadly Demon. With promotion looking likelier each week, be careful. Don't say that, Deadly Demon. What would your priority be for an operational side of the club away from players if we get promoted? Are you going to say the bloody training ground again? You are, aren't you? It's fine, you can.
No, I'm not. I'm going to ask for better scouting.
Okay, improve scouting team. Okay.
Improve the scouting because we're starting to show that we can do the data analytics and stuff like that. If we can improve the scouting, we can then get ahead of the people who pick up some of the non-league players. We're already really doing. We're looking at non-league players already ready to go into the academy. But if we can do a Brentford or Peterborough style thing, I think it'll put us good in the long term and just bring players through that academy into the first team. The training ground, I've just got to the point that it'll get done eventually. It's actually interesting. I saw some footage of what it looks like under Mandaric and what it looks like under Chansiri. He's done a lot to it already. It just feels like it's not been a lot because we haven't seen it and we're still at Middlewood.
Yeah. I think I must say, since we've been banging on about it, literally, we proper like stuck the knife in on like Talking Wednesday 100 or something about the club doing more behind the scenes sort of stuff. And I'm not saying that's why.
I'm not going to say it's him, but the amount of time we go in a Discord method, go, you seen this? I go, yeah.
It's with a lot of things, mate. Like, oh, I remember saying that last week. But like,
the company got doing it is superb.
What I think needs to happen is we need, if when we get promoted, the other side of it, we need to bring it to the fans. I actually think football should be coming to a point where you bring your media in-house as well and you can actually stream it. Because
Charlton do it.
Here's the thing, right? And I'm just going to say this now. There's loads of Wednesday fans, and I know a lot of them, and I don't do this, right? I actually don't do this. And it's not me fibbing because obviously I go to matches and I will watch where I can and I'll watch the catch-ups. And also I'm always a little bit worried about it not working and getting my Wednesday account banned or something. That's why I've never done it.
Yeah.
But people will literally spoof their location and watch the matches anyway, all the iFollow stuff that's abroad.
Yeah.
Just make it accessible for people. Because there will be fans that just don't go, but you can have a whole level connection.
Ticket.
Younger people as well, they don't want to constantly spend, and you could actually bring that revenue into the club's fan base. The people that aren't going to go.
Yeah. Do a digital season ticket.
Yeah. And I'm not saying this is specifically a Wednesday thing. I think this needs to be done
Just
on a
in
league-wide, on a general level. Because people will still, there is still a difference, right? Of going to big matches and feeling it.
Yeah.
So people will still go to those.
But if you did like a digital season ticket, you could even bring tickets down and have that as your high tier and you ticket it down, and then you might get more people and go, oh, what? 10, 15 quid to get in today? Oh, I'm going. I'm not going to sit at home. I'll go instead.
Well, we've brought a traditional, put in quotes, armchair into the podcast as a different sort of because Jack is very much sort of like, Jack lives further away. He doesn't go to as much, that sort of thing. But he sees everything and he's into, and he made a very good point to me the other day. Like, there's some of the biggest fan channels and people who analyze don't even do anything. Do you know what I mean? There's a whole culture that I think we need to sort of jump on, and we are with the behind the scenes stuff now, of people who get their content from the football club in that way, because it's another revenue source if you do it cleverly.
Yeah. And
so operationally, I think that's why it should be done.
Really cleverly edited. There was a post on one of the Instagram people. I can't remember. It may have been Windass and Palmer, and he said something about the 2000 playlist. I was like, "What 2000?" And then you see the behind the scenes, and you hear the playlist that's in the dressing room. And you go, "Oh, that playlist." Some of the music that comes out that dressing room, you're like, I think it was the last one at MK. They were all walking into Miley Cyrus party in the USA. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I bet they've had a few copyright strikes. Chef Wedfan 101 writes in, says, which 3 teams from the Premier League do you think will play next season? I'll go with Leeds, Everton, Southampton. I love how everyone's just assuming we're going to get promoted, and I'm a little bit nervous, but stop. But yeah, Leeds, Everton, Southampton. If we do get promoted, Jake, who do you think will play?
Southampton, West Ham, Leeds. I think Everton will just nick it.
I hope they do all right, actually, because in this double game week, I've got 2 Everton players in my fantasy team. Yeah, I think Leeds are gone. I reckon it'll be Leeds, Bournemouth, Southampton.
Ooh, yeah.
But then again, Wolves don't fill me full of confidence either. It's quite scrappy.
It's tight down there.
Yeah.
It is. I think it's the tightest it's been at this point for a while. Just going off a tangent, give Forest credit. Look where they are now.
Yeah, they're doing all right. Better.
Better. I won't say all right, they're better. They're probably not going to get relegated. They're not the worst out of the lot now.
No. Which is what they needed.
Yeah.
After how much they spent.
Leeds would be interesting because Leeds are trying to get taken over again by the 49ers. Everton, I don't want them to go down because I like a Liverpool-Everton derby.
It was a terrible idea sacking Bielsa, because at least when they had Bielsa, they played with a press and they played with energy, and now they just don't. They look disjointed when I don't know if you've caught any of their matches on TV and stuff, but it's I don't know. Leeds used to look scary because they'd never give up.
They don't
never stop.
And Southampton, well, you went and appointed Nathan Jones. That's your own stupid fault. Anyone who appoints him and thinks he can do that after he'd done all the stuff he'd done at Luton, he just sacked himself in one interview.
It's one of those things like Bournemouth. I just don't think. I don't know. I think Bournemouth's one of those that could easily find their way in, but when it's not Eddie Howe's Bournemouth, I've never seen them as
right. Have a look at the 3 teams or the teams around there. They all got people who had long-term managers there for a while.
Yeah.
Southampton, long-term manager.
Is Moyes sat yet?
No, not yet. He started to turn it around a little bit.
I think it would be a mistake sacking him, actually.
Yeah.
But it's probably going to happen now. But yeah, thanks for writing in. We'll see if we play them in the Championship. Before we move on to this, actually, while we're still in the community section, did you watch the League Cup final then?
I did. I thought it was a
Who
good
did
final.
you want to win? Because I can't believe I'm saying this, but I actually wanted Man United to win just because I feel like if Newcastle do the Man City, we're going to see them in a lot of finals.
Yes, I had that, and I still haven't forgiven Newcastle fans who went and said slanderous stuff about our club.
Oh, yeah, there's that. I've got a really difficult one, actually, because there's some Newcastle fans I get on with really quite well, especially after the Steve Bruce stuff. And then there's the ones that came out of the woodwork with the Crush stuff, which is not obviously accurate information whatsoever. So it's a tricky one, but I was in two minds with that because I was like, I don't want Manchester United to win because Newcastle technically are the underdog, but they're not anymore. I actually quite like the fact that Eric Ten Hag has proved himself right. Job. Do you know what? Ronaldo coming in, and I was even sort of buying. I was sort of buying it though. I was sort of like, you don't treat Ronaldo like that. But then I was like, hang on, how would have Sir Alex treated Ronaldo?
Yeah,
exactly like Eric Ten Hag did.
Yeah, and he made the right choice. Look at where they are now and where they were without him. Yeah, I think he got a team playing well. He got a team. Look at Marcus Rashford. No one has managed to get the best out of Marcus Rashford. It's the best.
That's part of the reason I would have tipped them to want them to win, because I think Rashford's just been sensational, and Rashford deserves it as well. Do you know what I mean? Like the work he's put on in the pitch, the criticism he's got for everything he does. You know, like it
was an enjoyable game as well.
Yeah, it was all right, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I watched the Tottenham match before. It was a day of football on Sunday, actually.
Yeah.
Good dink in the Tottenham match. Like,
Chelsea look worried, but they need to keep with Potter. Don't sack him yet. It was stupid. He's got to build.
That's the thing. Chelsea aren't a building club.
I think they're going to have to be with how much money they've thrown.
I actually agree with you. I think they need to realise that they've put themselves in this situation.
Do you know why they can't sack him? It'll cost them 60 million quid.
It's also a case of nobody's really going to come in and work miracles now with them. They shouldn't have sacked Tuchel.
No.
But they did.
Yep.
Because hiring Potter in that situation is a bit weird to me. Potter's the kind of manager you do when like good managers really fallen flat. But Tuchel's a man that can drag a team to a final and win it.
It's a weird one with Tuchel. It shouldn't have happened. Like, one of the strange things, if Conte, which I kind of want to happen, if Conte actually leaves Tottenham, he's tipped to go have the Tottenham job, Tuchel. Yeah. After everything that happened at the start of the season, that would just be comical.
Well, was it? I know Mourinho was linked back with
he was
Chelsea and that as well.
That's the only one who you could probably see coming in for Potter and making it work.
I personally believe if you bring Mourinho, I'd like to kind of see him at Chelsea under these owners. Give him time.
Yeah.
You know, don't always expect Chelsea to be up there, and actually let it be Mourinho. He's probably deserved it with Chelsea. Let him be the.
It's interesting watching Chelsea fans like go off the deep end at a minute. And I'm like, you've had it so good for so long. This is what normal football fans feel like.
I am kind of glad that you can have all that money and it can still go wrong.
Are they going to be able to spend it, though? Because if they don't get financial fair play or Champions League, they're screwed.
Yeah. Wait and see all them asterisks pop next to Man City's titles as well, which would be interesting.
Be a couple of seasons.
It could be all of them.
No, but I mean, it'll be a couple of seasons before it happens.
Yeah.
Look at QPR. QPR are still paying off their FFP debt from 2012. They got a 10-year like fine structure, and it only got concluded in 2019.
Part of the reason I want us to get into the Premier League is like the EFL don't give us enough credit as a club. They've just been but we need to move.
Yeah.
Sheffield Wednesday play Peterborough United next, who have got 50 points. They are 9th in League One. Their home record is 10-1-4, 31 points. Their away record is 6-1-9, 19 points. They've scored 53 goals and conceded 40 for a difference of 13. Their last match was a 5-2 win against Plymouth Argyle, so they're up for it. What are your thoughts here, Jake?
I got somebody who went to the Peterborough Plymouth game, and he basically said Peterborough can't defend for toffee.
Okay, I'll take that.
He said they can't defend for
'Cause we
toffee, so
can.
with your strike force, you should batter them.
That's all I need.
Yep.
I'll take that. What's your score prediction?
3-0. I'm going to go 3-0 just because I think we could have it where we're 2-0 up at half time, we get the third and we try for more, but you don't want to go too many just in case of like, I'm not saying the word because we've got a treatment room full, but you want players to be sensible.
Yeah. I'll go 2-1 because of that same reason. We bring a play off and we fall asleep a little bit.
Yeah.
But don't do that.
No.
Get the 3-0. Prefer that one.
Yeah.
But yes, that's all I've got this week for this week's Talking Wednesday. Jake, anything to add?
Yeah, just one thing. We lost a very good commentator in John Motson this week. And for me, he was the voice of most of my footballing watching BBC. And I think we lost another one of those voices that are iconic to football and for a generation. And I think there's a big gap lost there in the commentating industry now. And I see there's new one popping up, but you'll never have that commentary of him commentating when Beckham scores that free kick against Greece and actually losing it as a fan and not a commentator.
I'm obviously younger than you, and Motson's obviously significant to me as well because he's a voice that you always associate. It's like when I was growing up. There's different ones for me. There's like Motson, Tildesley.
Yeah.
Is a big one for the England matches.
What's the one who used to do Robot Wars? And he's now BBC.
I don't remember. But there's for me it's like it was Motson, Tildesley, and because of FIFA and obviously that you've got Martin Tyler, who I actually think he's got no passion in his voice anymore when he's commentating, which is quite sad. But like Motson was iconic, and it's a big loss to football. That is very sad. But sorry to end on a slightly somber note, but remember him for all the fun.
He had some cracking one-liners and some cracking thoughts and stuff.
Yeah.
And he always just had time for a lot of people, even if you were a new commentator or fan. And I think people like Darren Fletcher, Sam Matterface, they all used to go for him advice, and his advice was just enjoy it. Yeah. And I think that's the how to live life, enjoy it.
A proper passion for the game as well, which is what you want to have. But yeah, that's it for this week's episode of Talking Wednesday. Take care, and we will see you in the next episode of Talking Wednesday.
See ya.